Good evening. Welcome. Damn it, welcome. This is the Four Battle Boy podcast. I am your host, Fabian Vicks, and I got my guys, two of my guys so far. We got Shot Major, world champion, Florida Panthers. Got and look who's on the top right. Top right, we got Big Straw in the house. Big Straws in the house. Big Straws in the house. So tonight we're gonna let Shot when we after the we do our sponsor Shot gonna talk about the Panthers right quick, win the championship. Then we're gonna talk about the NBA draft, which concluded close to about 2.5 hours ago. Recap the draft. Um, Mike's bullshit 25 for 25 list. We're gonna pick it apart like we do every week, and of course we got a face off between D Randle and Big Straw. Who's better, A Rod or Barry Bond? That's easy. So Mike, I don't know why you even waste your time doing some shit like that, but of course it's part of the show. We gotta get the music going. So what I'm gonna do, Straw.
Hit our music.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys, yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys.
And of course, this is Sport Valley Boy podcast. We got a bunch of sponsors that we still haven't got paid yet, so they owe us some money for shouting their ass out. Wednesdays and Sundays, our show, just a programming note, we are going to take some time off for July because there ain't really shit going on. We don't talk about tennis too hard unless somebody black win, so we're not going to talk about it. But we're going to take a little bit of time off, so we'll be back and better than ever when we hit training camps for NFL. On Crazy Straws, if you're crazy and got a straw, that's Ryan's sponsor. He started this endeavor a few years ago. Order that shit. He ready.
Yeah,
just for men. If you got gray in your beard, you want to get it out, go ahead and go to Walgreens or Walmart. Get it off on men's care aisle. Ryan said, fuck that shit. I'm gray. And he has probably one of the best goatees on television. Dax Wave and Grew. Michael Atwater has had waves since 1994. He doesn't have it here, but still has waves. Dax Wave and Grew, red can, $3.79 at Dollar General. Arizona tea, 89 cents. You drink that shit, you're gonna have diabetes in 35 minutes. 35 minutes, you're gonna be on Wegovy.
My name is Wilford Brindley, and I have diabetes.
Facebook and YouTube, go and follow us on those channels. BuyNightShirt.com. Bernard Ingram still waiting on some free clothing. You say you wanted to sponsor some clothes. Go ahead, send that shit, dog. You got the address because I ordered plenty of stuff from you. Go ahead, send it. Damon's podcast, chopping it up. He has a Patreon page, so Patreon, my nigga, Damien Randle, chopping it up. And of course, our favorite sponsors, Henny & Coke, Ginger Ale, and Crown Royal XO, the Dark Liquors.
The Dark Liquors.
We got Michael Jackson, who's from the grave, who's been dead for 15 years, looking pretty good for a dead guy.
Rest in peace, Mike. It's been 15 years. 15 years yesterday.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I get with you later. I remember calling you that day when he passed away, Michael.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
Why did you call him, Straw?
Well, originally it was a joke.
Hold on, Ryan. Wait a minute, Ryan. Hey, this is family stuff. I don't think it's none of your damn business why he called me. Come think of it.
Well, first
Let me
of all,
just damn put that out there.
I
was emotional.
You're not an
I was
attorney,
emotional when Michael Jackson passed.
Classes, so you're not an attorney. I was talking to Straw.
Straw, you ain't got to answer. Tell him refer to your lawyer.
It's not. You know what? It started out as a bad joke, and I'm just saying, because originally when you first heard the news, you heard that he was having trouble breathing. He hadn't passed yet. So I'm on my way home from work, and I call Michael. I know Michael is one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans it is, just based on the music. I grew up with Michael.
Hold on. He was a big fan. And it was only the music.
Yeah, he grew. I know. Michael has the albums and everything. This ain't no CDs. He has the albums and everything. And I called him making a joke. I called him making a joke, and I think that's the first time Michael hung up in my face because I made him mad.
Yeah. Keep talking, Scroll. Keep talking. Yeah. Mike, are you okay now?
Hey, Ryan, this your last goddamn show. The last one for you. It's the last supper.
I got fired.
Yeah, you getting fired, nigga.
I need a table to flip over. You can't fire me. You can't fire me.
Buddy from
I
what's
just
the
want
name?
you to know it's okay to talk. You know, the Me Too movement is still out. Feel free to express yourself.
Hey, can you start the damn show?
We already started.
I want to take some time out at the beginning of the show. We want to let
That boy
Shot.
Colin went. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, you're good. We want to let Shot get off on his Florida Panthers winning their first World Championship or Stanley Cup, as they call it. Shot, take a couple moments.
Oh no, I mean, you know, like I said, it was just great to be in the building. You know, a championship bring a city together. It don't matter what kind. You know, like Georgia, state of Georgia rallied around the Bulldogs. You know, with them being two-time champions. So you know, just being in the building. You know, I'm a new hockey fan, but anytime you know South Florida, you know, is on the scene on the cusp of winning the championship, I just had to be in the building. You know, so through God's blessings and grace, I was able to be in the building. Go Panthers! You know, hey, I can tell you though, you know, they say that the two most exciting words in sports, Game 7, they weren't lying. So again, you know, just to be part of that history, you know, it was definitely worth it for me. Definitely worth it for me to be a part of that history. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I watched that game, and I was watching the game 3 of the College World Series. I had 2 TV going the other night. Miami has joined the elusive clubs. The city of Miami has joined the elusive club of winning a championship in each major sport. They're in the same boat with New York, and I think New York and LA. When I say the major sports, I'm talking about hockey, baseball, basketball, and football. Miami's got a Super Bowl with the Dolphins. They done won with the Heat. They done won with the Marlins, and now they done won with the Panthers.
Right.
We're
the only city to have 5 championships when you include a major college football team. The only city.
Well, you ain't the only city then, LA, USC done it.
I'm sorry, the newest. They said the newest city, not the only city. It would be LA. It would be LA. I mean, they got a bunch of teams, so they should.
Yeah.
They got 2 of each. So,
I mean, what are the odds? I mean, the odds are in their favor.
Yeah, they got 2 of everything. They got 2 colleges, 2 basketballs, 2 baseballs, 2 basketballs. Like they got 2 of everything. 2 hockey or just 1 hockey.
They got teams. Well, they still got the LA Kings, so they still have the. I think they're the only hockey team. They're the only hockey team there. Anaheim, yeah. Anaheim.
They further up. That wouldn't be the city of LA, but they got 2 of everything else.
Yeah.
So that ain't hard.
Don't forget about Dallas. Dallas is real close. The Cowboys, the Mavericks, the Rangers.
They don't have. Do they have a hockey team now? Or is it coming back?
Yeah, they got a hockey team. The Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were moving. Aren't they moving?
No, they're still there.
Okay.
The team in Phoenix is moving to Utah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to count Texas Longhorns, they're in Austin. They're like about an hour and a half away, but that's probably the closest championship Dallas will get in the most recent history. But anyway, one note about Paul Maurice, the coach for the Panthers. He is 5-0 in Game 7s. Okay, 5-0 in Game 7s.
Let me just add this, because I don't know if they do this in other hockey towns, and I don't know if somebody told them to do this to promote the sport, but and I wasn't there. This is what I heard on the radio this morning, that the Florida Panther players, Kukuk, you know, Alexander Barkov, Bob Brzezowski, how do you say that? They've been going to like local restaurants with the Stanley Cup. They went and jumped in the ocean and all that, but they literally been walking around the city of Fort Lauderdale, going to little different small little restaurants with the cup, just taking pictures with people.
That's tradition.
Yeah. That's a tradition. That's a tradition. They always do that, and then I think they pass it. Every player they give it to every player and every person in the media organization, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody has some time with the cup. So yeah, that happens too.
And do they go out in the city and stuff like that?
I've heard that
everywhere.
Okay, see, that's why that's new to me. Shout out to hockey for doing that, man. Shout out to them for doing that. I don't know why that wouldn't bring the city even closer. In my opinion, hockey should be an even bigger sport than what it is, knowing that you got men that do that give back to the community with their presence. Because I know NBA, NFL, they off at the club that night and they on the plane somewhere else to Cancun.
Well, that was one of the things, like the original 8 hockey teams. Your Boston Bruins and those 8. They started a lot of traditions. The only thing that really killed hockey was when they had that strike.
Right.
When they had that strike back in the day, I'm talking about, you had big stars. You had the Mario Lemieux, the Marc Messiers. They were doing really good, and that strike pretty much killed them. ESPN had a hockey night. At least they had hockey at least 3 times a week, at least.
Yeah,
and it was
in America.
Right. EA had their video game. It was still hot. Right now, you got to have fans like, I would have to be a fan. People like us in our age group would have to be bigger fans and pass that on and actually arouse the engagement of the fan base, because a lot of people were turned off by that strike.
Okay.
All right, that's your hockey portion of the show. Hopefully, we'll add that to broaden our horizon. Just like basketball right now, hockey had a different champion for the last at least 6 years, so it's no dynasties really. So that's another topic for another day. Is dynasties dead except for the Chiefs and the Cowboys? Now we had a draft the last 2 days, NBA draft. Interesting picks. Mike had his list of first round picks, and even Mike couldn't see some of this shit coming where they were drafting last night. And the draft is a crapshoot. We had 2 players for France drafted 1-2. That's the first time we had 4 born players drafted 1-2. First time since 2003 when 2 players were in the top 2 that did not have any college experience. I'm gonna start with Mike, then go to Ryan, and then Shot, then me. Who was your biggest winner from the draft?
Man, the LA Lakers getting Dalton Connect, the guy from Tennessee. He was a transfer from Northern Colorado. He averaged like 22, 23 a game this year. He's already 21, 22 years old. 23. He's going to go to a spot with the Lakers where he can be a spot up shooter. And that was a good pick for the Lakers. That was a really good pick. And I think the Hawks with that top pick. The problem with the draft, people don't know these prospects. So people gonna say, like I done heard Anatole say for a month, draft suck. Well, we didn't know who Giannis was before he got drafted. We didn't know who Kawhi was. There's a lot of these players we did not know before they were drafted. So it was an unknown draft. But the Hawks did good, and like I said, I like the Lakers pick.
Strong.
I'm just, I hadn't been getting into it. It was one of those drafts that didn't really attract me. But I think that I agree with Michael. I like the Lakers picks. I like the Grizzlies first round pick. They got them a shooter that they desperately needed. And I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room that just happened. Like you said 2 hours ago, the Lakers drafted Bronny James. If it was me and my organization, and even though that's my father, Bronny James gets a rookie free agent contract trial. He does not get a draft slot. There's a lot of risk in that. And hopefully it will be rewarding for the Lakers because they need some good things to happen for them. But I don't, that was I don't know about that one. That one's got a question mark by. I just don't want that young man to end up like Hank Gaddis. I just don't. He can have all the full bill of health. They say that, and it may be media, it may be sensationalized, but that's the one thing that really everybody in the nation was trying to see what was going to happen, and it happened like they said it was going to happen. Is it to this young man's benefit or his detriment?
Go to shot.
So I would say the winner is two teams. But San Antonio, because I love Rob Dillingham, but I think he's stuck over there in San Antonio.
He got traded to Minnesota.
He got traded to Minnesota last night.
Oh my God. Okay, I didn't know that. So I think Minnesota definitely won the draft. To pair him with a young Anthony Edwards, I think it's gonna, Dillingham is explosive, man. He's explosive. The other one is Jared McCain, going over there to Philadelphia. If he can grow up fast, while you still got Tyrese Maxey and Embiid, and maybe even if he can grow up a lot this year, because I think he's the most ready NBA guy. And I think and the Sixers can depend on him a little bit. You can let Harden play more off the ball, or he can play off the ball, depending on what you want. Because his IQ is up there. He's the one that destroyed Bronny in high school. After he was snubbed from the McDonald's All-American spot, then he went to Duke to do his thing. So I think those two are the winners. The loser in this is the Lakers. I know Atwater said they're winners, but like that was so predictable, man. Like, I feel for this kid. For one, I don't think he had any business being there. Well, let me rephrase. The losers are the Lakers and the draft. There was no length in this draft. Atwater, chime in. Tell me if you agree with me on this one, man. I didn't see length in this draft. I saw a lot of 6'1", 6'2" point guards, which I'm not used to. I haven't seen in a long time. In the last couple of years, we've had 6'4" and 6'6" point guards. Am I right or wrong, Atwater? What you think on that?
I mean, you had some some short guards that got drafted, but they were super athletic. Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepherd.
No, I mean to cut you off. I'm talking about in the past. Like, yes, this year I saw more 6'1", 6'2" point guards than in the past. I've seen more 6'4", 6'5" point guards. Now that don't mean they were super duper ball handlers like Kyrie, but they were 6'4", 6'5". There was like 3 or 4 point guards in this first round that were in the 6'1" to 6'3" range. You agree with that?
Let me see. Maybe Reed Shepherd and Dillingham right off. I think everybody else was 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Isaiah Collier got drafted by Phoenix. He was about 6'4". Jared McCain about 6'4".
No, Jared McCain 6'2".
You got Jacoby Waters, Keyshawn George. So, yeah, I mean they got youth, but you had some 6'6", 6'7" dudes get drafted. You don't see a lot of centers and power forwards go.
Right.
And
Hear me out. Isaiah Collier, the point guard that played in front of Bronny, he was 6'3", right? I'm looking at it now. Then you got McCain was 6'2". You got Bud Harrington, he was 6'4". You got Devin Carter, he was 6'2". And then you got Rob Dillingham was 6'1". I haven't seen that many 6'2" and under PGs drafted in the first round in the draft in the last 10 years.
We'll have to look that one up.
Huh?
We're going to look that one up.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, you had the guys from overseas, they 6'6" ball handlers. I'm talking about the guys in college. Hey, do you remember seeing a draft where you had shorter PGs? Not in the first round.
Not a recent memory since Kyrie in 2011. No, because everybody 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". That's where the league was going to.
Right, and I just didn't see a lot of length. Like I saw 6'4" shooting guards. I saw 6'6" small forwards. The last couple of years, we've seen 6'8" small forwards, 6'8" shooting guards. Like you say, the boy Keyshawn George, he's not no point guard. He's a shooting guard. And they got him listed as small forward at 6'6". Like, to me, the league has gotten shorter, or at least this draft, I didn't see a lot of length. You know, I didn't see a lot of 6'8" guys handling the ball, you know, like like Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, 6'7", 6'8". The other Tyrese Maxey, when he came out, he was 6'6". I didn't see that this year.
Yeah, if you want to go even deeper, Devin Carter, same size as Donovan Mitchell, Davion Mitchell of Sacramento, who drafted Devin Carter. They traded Davion Mitchell to the Hornets today. So he's basically the same player, but more explosive. Even though Davion Mitchell was explosive, but he just couldn't find his way in Sacramento. And if you look at it, like you were saying, Shy, Reed Shepherd, 6'1", playing shooting guard in Kentucky, and he's coming off the bench. That just tell you how much talent they had at Kentucky, where Reed Shepherd's coming off the bench, but shooting 40+% from three, 50% from the field.
Dillingham off the bench. Both of them,
yeah.
Hey, so Fav, after you tell us our winners and losers, can we spend a couple of minutes on Bronny James? Because this is a hot topic.
It's gonna be hot.
It's got to be discussed.
Yeah, to me, Minnesota's the biggest winner because they got some athleticism and scoring to come off the bench with Terrence Shannon Jr. and Rod Dillingham. I think with San Antonio, what they did, I think it's shrewd. If I was San Antonio, I would have tried everything I could do. Probably, if I was them at 8, I would have drafted Connect. I would have drafted him at 8 if I was San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a steal for the Lakers, man. Like they got one of the best athletes in the draft with Connect.
Best athlete at what? He's a subpar defender, and you got to be somewhat athletic to defend, and that was one of his weak spots with Tennessee this year. So,
yeah, he was also one of the best scorers in the league too. Everybody got a negative fate. Every player that got drafted got something they don't work on. So you can't have what?
You can't have defense as negative all like that.
He ain't the only player in the draft that got defense negative. It's every player in the league that got drafted this weekend. I mean, these last 2 days, they had a deficiency somewhere in the game, whether it's defense, whether it's ball handling, shooting, whatever. So we can't just call him out for being a defensive. Everybody got a deficiency. Every player got a scouting report. So his deficiency, you know, he got to work on it pretty much. But he is super athletic. He's a scorer. But the first thing we do, people, they just focus on what they don't do wrong. Everybody got that. All 58 players that got drafted got a deficiency.
What did you say? What they don't do wrong? What the hell are you talking about?
You know what I meant, man. Come on now. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, everybody got a deficiency, man.
I know, right? Everybody got a good deficiency.
So I think Lakers, they had the steal of the draft. I don't think they had the best draft. Minnesota did pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and get my loser. To me, I could say Memphis. You're taking Zach Edey at 9.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
In Detroit, you don't have a coach, and you drafted Ron Holland. I think Ron Holland went a little too high.
Man, Ron Holland gonna surprise some folk now. Don't be. That's another athletic ass player, 6'8", that played in the G League. Don't be surprised now about Ron Holland.
Yeah, he was a scorer too. He was a scorer.
Detroit got a bunch of 6'6", 6'7" guys on their team, but I don't know what the hell they were doing. They need a few more veterans. But
they need somebody to actually play a real position. Hey, shout out to my fantasy rival, Fred Mock Johnson, senior. He said he could shoot. I'm assuming he's talking about my man from Tennessee.
Yeah.
He said could shoot handles and fair hops. I didn't really think he was that athletic, but we'll see.
To be fair to Connect, he had 6 games where he scored 35 plus points, so he can put the ball in the basket, which is what the Lakers need. even though Lakers this year they were 8th in 3-point percentage, but they're in 28th in attempts. So the Lakers need to shoot more threes, but they have to make them, which is one problem when you watch the Lakers play. And times when they needed threes, nobody can knock them down. It's going to be key. We're not, like I said, we're not Laker fans or like that. I was a Laker fan, but put like this. They need to figure out what D'Angelo Russell's going to do. He's going to opt into his contract. Or he's going to opt out. If he opts in, he becomes trade bait. You need to move him. Probably put him in a package for a role player or something like that. But if he opts out, that's going to kind of tie the hands a little bit from free agency what they can do. But Mike and
hold on real quick, Fade. Yeah. Before we talk about Bronny James, just to show you how the league has progressed and just the difference in the league. 15 or 20 years ago, Zach Edey probably been the number one pick.
Yeah,
he probably been the number one draft pick in the NBA. But now Zach Edey, I feel like Zach Edey and what Memphis wants to do. Memphis wants to run and gun. Zach Edey gonna be able to catch up with Memphis? You know, I mean, with Ja Morant and Desmond Bain and Marcus Smart. Is he gonna be able to Jaren Jackson? Is he gonna be able to run the floor with them? You can't put him in no pick and pop. Is he gonna be an effective pick and roll kind of guy? We'll see.
Defective or effective.
So one of them things that I was gonna say was that, you know, even though this draft is what it is, and they got who they got. The thing about the Memphis Grizzlies is that we don't know what we gonna get next year. We don't know what we had this year. We just know we had key injuries at key positions, key people out. So it's just gonna help. Now, if he learns the system and he can play his game, yeah, it's gonna help. Yeah, he can do it. But I mean, they're gonna want to run and gun, but it's gonna be sometimes they're gonna have to pull that thing back out and run a play.
Pull that thing out.
So his pullout game got to be strong. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in case you have any under 18 viewers.
Yeah, they all in bed. They went to sleep.
To be fair, the reason why I think they drafted Edey is so that way Triple J can drop down to the 4.
Well, he's a natural 4 though. So that's what he played. That's what he plays. He's one of the first positionless players. When he came out of Michigan State, he was that guy that could step back and shoot the 3, at least the corner 3, you know, at that time. But it helps the team. It does help the team. They got options now. You got options.
All right, let's go and go broach this topic. Bronny James. Of course, he got drafted 55 by the Lakers. There's the chance the Suns are going to draft him. Folks are saying nepotism, but I'm going to bring up Mike Malone. His dad was a coach. Rick Adelman's son is assistant coach in Minnesota, I believe. Yeah, Bernie Bickerstaff's son, who's a coach.
And Mike Dunleavy, the
Dunleavys. You could talk about ownership, executive positions. So miss me with the nepotism, because if I had a son and I'm a player, and I'm gonna do everything I can to get him in the league, to at least get him an opportunity, just like these Caucasian counterparts have done for 400 plus years.
And before people say anything about Bronny James, he only averaged 4.5 points a game. There was a dude in the first round last night named AJ Johnson that averaged 3 points a game, and he went in the first round. 3 points. So before we throw out he averaged 4 points a game and all this, there's a dude that went before him that averaged 3 points a game.
I get that, but the thing is, he has a well-documented health history. His well-documented health history is the reason he didn't play much at USC, and I believe that majorly is why he didn't. That took major consideration of why he didn't go but to the second round. I mean, like I said in my original statement, if you want to play basketball, that's fine. These are billion-dollar organizations. If you want to get them later. Send them to the G League if you really want to do this. But You're spending, you risking your future, really your future, on somebody that has heart issues. He ain't got no sprained ankle. He ain't got no issues of sprained ankle or lower extremity injuries. He has a heart issue.
Ryan, the heart issue is over.
Okay, that's
like he done went through tests and went through everything to be able to play in the league. So he missed 8 games this year with USC coming back from the heart issue. And he wouldn't have been able to go through the NBA draft combine stuff if he wouldn't have still had a bad heart. So the heart issue, we can't keep using that. We can't keep using he's got a heart issue. No, we gotta keep using it. So people got a problem with this decision about Bronny James because LeBron James has used his power to get Bronny James in the league, and point blank period, people don't think Bronny James is good enough. And it goes back to him averaging 4.8 points a game.
Okay. I agree with you as far as LeBron goes, Mike. I do. Because I would have done the same thing, just like Faith said. If it was Miles, and Miles going to play somewhere that I'm at, then I would use my influence as well. No doubt. But me being a parent first, I'm going to tell him, look, you got to make sure all of your heart issues are taken care of. And LeBron probably knows that he wouldn't even use his influence. But that's just me on the outside looking in, thinking, man, this man got some real medical issues. And knowing what it's done to different people in the past, I don't see it. I'm sorry. That's not questioning his ability. That's not questioning what he can grow into. That's questioning, this is life or death, in my opinion.
Shot, get in there.
Again, shout out to my guy Fred. Nepotism is a part of life, so I don't have any problem with that. And everything that y'all said, I 100% agree with. We've been father to boys. This doesn't bode well for LeBron because he's often, tried to stay away and deny his impact on front office changes and decision making, all the way from his early days in Cleveland to his time in Miami when he wanted Shabazz Napier to be drafted, to when he went to back to Cleveland and he orchestrated the deal where he wanted Kevin Love and all of them people, to everything he did with the Lakers, want Russ and not want to have his hands in it. This time he had to play his card. Do I think Bronny James will have an NBA career? Yes, I do. Do I think Bronny James should have been drafted in the second, or would have been drafted in the NBA if not for his dad? No, I don't. And the case I'm making with that is what I said earlier with the abundance of 6'2" point guards. Like all of the people that were drafted before him, that he faced. This kid Jared McClain, remember, that's the same kid like I told you that got snubbed for the McDonald's game and tore him up. The other boy from USC, he was drafted in the first round. We knew Bronny wasn't going to be a starter when he got to USC because of that kid. And the other shooting guard, like we knew that he was a high 3-star, low 4-star athlete coming out of Sierra Canyon in California, out of high school. And think about it. There is nobody in that NBA draft that has had more resources than LeBron James Jr. He's an erratic ball handler. He's an average shot maker at best, and he's hanging his hat on defense, which I think is the reason why he'll stay in the league for a long time. I don't mind the nepotism, but LeBron, remember, you always kept saying you don't make them decisions. I don't make them decisions. Okay, well, you had to show your hand now. You are. You are. I don't have a problem with it, but the kid, without nepotism, he wouldn't have been drafted. That's my thing. Call Phoenix and let them do you a favor and let him go to Phoenix. Don't get drafted by your dad's team. Come on now.
I can't say this. I'm saying the damn firework. What I can't say this though. One of the greatest players of all time did get his player and son in the league. So Mike can't say that. But Bronny should have stayed one more year. Eric Musselman is great with small guards. because he ran a 4-guard lineup in Arkansas. I think he would have benefited from one more year in USC. I think 1 year away from the heart issue in college would have did him some good. Even if he transferred to Dayton, back to Ohio, or Pepperdine, if you want to stay in California, somewhere where he could have got some more burn. I think he had a chance to go. He went. He showed pretty decently at the combine. I think he would have benefited. This one time, I would say he would have benefited of one more year of school, at least one. Didn't come back.
One more year would have helped. I agree with one more year would have helped. But then this is the thing about one more year. His one more year in college, he's still probably gonna be in the same boat. He still wasn't no guaranteed first round that he went back. Still wouldn't have been no guaranteed first round. He might would have gone higher in the second round, but he still probably would have been in the same boat.
Well, I disagree with that. I think had he gone somewhere, again, like you said, Arkansas or Duquesne, where his uncle is, Drew Joyce, the third, he could have showcased and worked on certain things. But again, LeBron James Jr.'s weaknesses is glaring to NBA scouts because they know nobody's had more resources than him. So if you're not an efficient, ball handler now, they probably don't think you're going to get that much better because you had the best of the best for the longest. Even now, I just hate that the kid got the short end of the stick. Your dad is a 6'8", 260-pound chiseled athlete from Mount Olympus. Zeus created him himself, and you only 6'2". It's like the movie Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. You Danny DeVito. Even Bryce right now 6'5". Man, I just feel for the kid. He just got the short end of the lab stick.
If I was the Lakers, I would have taken Kevin McCullers before I would have taken Bronny. A little bit more polished, but at the end of the day, he's in the league. We don't know what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to play much this first year unless they have extreme injuries. I just hope the best for him. Like I said, I'm happy he got drafted. I just wish he would have stayed one more year. He'd have greatly benefited from another year. Even with Arkansas with Calipari, I don't think he would have got a lot of burn, but Calipari could get you for the most part, get you to the lead. But I think staying one more year at USC with Musselman, or even going to like Duquesne, Dayton, Pepperdine, somewhere like that. Anderson, nobody's shooting. They shoot the damn fireworks. It's not even the 4th of July. So that's what was going on. This year here. We got a whole week. Wait till next week to shoot the damn fireworks.
So what happens? What happens when somebody fouls him hard? Like, does Daddy come? Like, what happens? What happens if Patrick Beverly get up in his chest and shoot him an elbow? Like, I wouldn't want that for my son. Somebody break that down for me. What happens when or if LeBron James Jr. gets fouled hard? Does he turn around and look at Daddy? Like, you can say what you want. Doc Rivers' kid could play. Like, he was a McDonald's All-American. He was all ACC, if not All-American at Duke. He did his thing. But you ain't have to worry about, he was bigger than his daddy. He was 6'5", 6'6". Doc Rivers is 6'2", and he was the coach. What happens when this kid gets fouled hard? Does Daddy run over there? Come on now.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I don't think Bronny gonna get a lot of clock in the NBA this year. I think he's gonna be with that G League team. They're not putting him on a two-way contract, so I think he's gonna spend most of his time in the G League this year. Honestly,
I agree with you, but for the sake of my argument, what happens when LeBron James gets fouled? Does Daddy come off the bench? Are you coming to help your teammate or your son? Does Mama run on the floor? Because it's a family affair at this point. We know Glory about that life. Does she come out there like, what we doing?
Grandma gonna get it.
you got your son on the team with you. This has never happened. Well, nah, Ken Griffey them did it, so I can't. But this has never
baseball.
happened.
That's baseball. That's not.
This has never happened in the NBA. Never. Like, you can go to the park and play pickup with your dad if he in shape. But this is going to actually happen on an NBA team where he going to tell his son, bring the ball up, and he going to throw it to his daddy. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. If you don't throw the daddy, like, do you get to come home? Is it curfew? What are we doing out here? What are we doing, people? This is
crazy. Good point. Great point, Shaq. Great points.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Well, at least the wife knows. She know where both of her men at. She know where the son at. She know where the husband at. She like Savannah. She good. She ain't got to be going flying all across the country. She can just come to LA and watch both of them. Watch her husband play and watch her son sit. Man, this is
Hey, be honest. I won't be surprised if Savannah had something to do with it. Bron, you better make sure Bronny get play with her. I won't be surprised.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, and you can see I'm animated about this because I just wouldn't want that for my kid. I'm not doing that. I'm not picking my kid. I'm not going to go to the front office and tell them to pick my kid. We're not doing that. We would have stayed in school, and then we would have. And he basically, when we talk about nepotism, he basically said, I don't care about whether he needs another year. 4.8 points, that means nothing to me. My son is going to play in the NBA because of who I am. He put that bullseye on his son back.
Savannah gonna bring the orange slices while he's sitting on the bench.
Man, hey, and listen here. If y'all want the truth, ask a pastor. Pastor Tick said, is he gonna flop and pick up a flagrant because he his daddy's son? Hello, church. Go to church with him, Pastor. Go to church with him. Thanks again, Ted. Appreciate you, my guy.
Man, I hate that dude, man.
Look at what my friends on Facebook. He said Jeffrey didn't make it, but Bronny Jr. did.
Yo, Jeffrey Jordan.
Yeah.
He should have done that. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony because his kid could actually play ball.
Hey, let me tell y'all something about that too. He brought it up. So, they got these Team USA team they got an under 17 team that's going over to play for the World Championship. And there's been some talk. People got a little upset this past week when they made the cut. They cut Trevor Ariza's son. They cut Bryce James, and they cut Kyan Anthony's son. So a lot of people are upset about that. But the squad that they got, and I know a lot of these kids, and I don't know them personal, but I know them like through AAU and high school ball. They got a loaded squad. I tell you whose sons both was on that squad. Cameron and Caden Boozer on Team USA. They on that squad.
Those grown men.
Listen, I've seen them kids up close and personal. Cameron Boozer would have been a top 5 pick in this draft.
Cameron Boozer would have went before Reed Shepherd at 3.
Absolutely. So, now I disagree with that Kyan Anthony. I think Shorty could flat out. I think he's a bucket getter like his dad. I think Bryce is not as good. And I think Gilbert Arenas' is playing the long game with his kid. I don't think that really matters to him. He's not even asking for hype like that. His kid don't even play on a lot of those circuits. His kid don't go to no loaded high school or none of that. And I'm basing up on what I've heard from the little short story.
Yeah, his son do play on the circuit. Yeah, he does.
No. I didn't say he don't play on the circuit. I said he doesn't keep him on the circuit like that. Like he even said it. He plays a few games on the circuit and he goes back to training. Like he said he's taking the Steph Curry route with his son, where we're gonna play less games and do more training. So I'll tell you for what it was.
That was our obligatory LeBron James / LeBron James Jr. segment brought to you by nepotism. Get it while the getting's good. All right, Mike's topic. Mike's 25 for 25. Mike, take it over.
So, man, we're trying to introduce a new segment, 25 for 25, And no, I didn't type it this time. I typed it last week. I didn't type it this time. So I've talked about and been sticking strictly to college football as we get ready to lead up to the college football and pro football season. So this time we had the show was the topic was the top 25 college football, top 25 players in the SEC since 2000. Defense, offense, regardless. So we started at the bottom, Patrick Willis, linebacker from Ole Miss. Then we had Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers is one of the, since 2000, if you had to just do a tight end list, y'all think Brock Bowers be a top 5 tight end? Like, I think Brock Bowers was better than any one of them tight ends they had at Miami in their heyday. I think he was better than Greg Olsen and Kellen Winslow.
Huh?
Put the cup down.
Wow.
Down. Like you compare the kid that went in the top, outside the top 10 in the first round to dudes with multiple Pro Bowls and possible Hall of Fame careers. Put the cup down.
Kellen Winslow made some Pro Bowls?
Actually, he did make a Pro Bowl before he started messing with, wouldn't leave the old lady alone.
Anyway, I did that to go at ratio. Anyway, 23.
I feel you.
Morris Claiborne, linebacker, the DB at LSU at 23. 22, one of them Pouncey boys, the center from Florida. Todd Gurley come in at 21. Tua, number 20. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, come in at 19. Percy Harvin, 18. Now, when you look at this list, man, this is what crazy, and this is what Ratio be talking about when we talk about recruiting in Alabama. Man, there's so many Alabama dudes on this list, man. It's unreal. I'm going to roll out about 3 in a row. 17, Amari Cooper. 16, Mark Barron. And 15, Mark Ingram. And Mark Ingram was a Heisman Trophy winner. 14, Darren McFadden. 13, Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. 12, another Alabama. How many Alabama dudes on here? Julio Jones at 12. Number 11, Ratio's godson, Bryce Young.
There you go.
Top 10, Derrick Henry. Number 9, another dude, Ratio, and Ratio, I think, know this dude. Number 9, Patrick Peterson, LSU. 8, Devontae Smith at Alabama. Johnny Manziel at 7. You had another Alabama dude, 6, Rolando McClain, linebacker, 6. David Pollock, 2-time All-American at Georgia, number 5. Cam Newton, 4. Eric Berry, University of Tennessee, 3. Joe Burrow and Tim Tebow. I just want to count. I didn't even think about it. How many Alabama dudes on the list? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 25 dudes on here, it's 9 Alabama dudes on here. And could have easily been more. Good gracious.
Yeah, I got issues with that list.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
I see a glaring omission, but go ahead.
No, I ain't put Stetson Bennett on there, boy.
I didn't say he was on there, boy. I'm just saying.
Stafford.
I don't see Matthew Stafford. I don't see Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, I don't see either one of those.
They not on there.
Okay.
Top 25 players in the SEC since 2000. Nick Chubb may crack the top 10 when it comes to running backs. May. Because you don't see Cadillac Williams. Who you think had a better college career, Cadillac Williams or Nick Chubb? Cadillac Williams not on here. Trent Richardson, who finished 2nd or 3rd in the Heisman Trophy voting, ain't on here. It's a bunch of dudes like that ain't on here.
First of all, Fred, put in the chat who OT is. Anybody know who OT is? Who Fred talking about?
Let's talk about offensive tackle.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's talking about. So let's digest this list. Let's start from the top. Well, no, Straw. Who is your glaring omission?
Nick Chubb.
Oh, you said Nick Chubb. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. Let's just go at the top. How is Eric Berry in front of Cam Newton? How is Joe Burrow in front of Cam Newton? I do agree with Tim Tebow, but right under Tim Tebow should be Cam Newton.
Are you for real? Man, Joe Burrow threw over 60 touchdowns in 1 year.
Absolutely right. Cam Newton won a national championship just like Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy just like Joe Burrow, #1 pick just like Joe Burrow. Name the other people on Auburn team that Cam won all that stuff with.
What you mean, name the other people?
Burrow was throwing to. We know
what are you talking about? Name the other people.
Ball off to. Name the other people on that Auburn team.
So you're saying I hear you, Shaq. I hear you. What you're saying is because of Justin Jefferson and crew. That's why Burrow is he gets more. He got the 60 touchdowns and the stat stuff up, if you will.
Right.
You saying Cam put Auburn on his back and took them to a championship.
Why you think he do that? And the NFL players that played with Cam will tell you that. He was a true Superman out there. Nothing against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow should be in that top 5. If you're talking about top 25 in the last 20 years, what he did cannot be understated. But Cam Newton, outside of Tim Tebow with his 2 rings, is Cam Newton.
So you will put Cam Newton over Joe Burrow because Cam Newton didn't have as much help as Joe Burrow.
Again, name the other people on that Auburn team. Stroud just told you the people on the LSU team. All them dudes went in the first. Every person he threw to went in the first round. Everybody.
So who Cam Newton running back? Cam Newton had Michael Dyer.
Right. The fact that we don't remember them says enough.
Y'all made Tick cuss on here. He said, "Hell, Burrow couldn't even start at Ohio State." You got
the Reverend Tick.
We can't even mention that. You can't even Joe Burrow. When the last time you heard somebody throw 60 touchdowns in a season? Regardless of the weapon, this dude threw 60 touchdowns in a season.
I'm not discounting that. Fade or Anatoly.
I'm pulling up.
I'm ironing the clothes. Pull up Cam's stats for me, boss man.
I can do it for you. 45 touchdown, 45 pass touchdown, 15 rushing touchdown. Go ahead.
That what Cam did?
That what Cam did, yeah.
I sure appreciate you, Fade. So my man Cam accounted for 60 of those touchdowns himself.
You said 45 passing touchdowns.
I said he accounted for 60 touchdowns.
I think it was 60 touchdowns.
Find the people who he was.
No, you got to look that one up, Fade. You got to look that one up. Talking about 45. He threw for 45 touchdowns in 13 games.
You said Joe Burrow threw 60 in a year, so that's okay.
Yeah, but Stroud just told you Justin Jefferson, Terrence Wilson? Justin Jefferson, Terrence. I can't think of Terrence. What's the dude's name? The other receiver at LSU. He went first round, and then of course Jamar Chase. All them dudes went first round.
Man, somebody got to look up Cam's stat, man. Look up his stats for that year.
Solaire, he went first round.
Anatoly, look up that man's stat for that year, man.
Come on now. Stop trying, Cam.
Yeah, Joe Burrow threw 58 touchdowns. And let's see, I'm trying to get the Cam, y'all. I got Cam Newton. Come, give me a second. Pull him up now.
Come on now, don't play with that boy.
Bro, I know you just didn't disrespect Eric Berry too, though. Ratio, did you?
No. Eric Berry was a dog. Eric Berry was the real deal. I'm just talking about Cam right now. We ain't even got down to that part yet.
30 passing touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns.
Oh my God, 50. Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I'm in agreement with Shot on this one. I like that man. He strapped Auburn on his back. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson benefited from having Joe Burrow. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he was there too. So yeah, if you want to, he did more with less. If you really want to be for real, he did more with less. Cam did more with less, lesser talent. But then, okay, on that point, it's a different quarter. We talking about a different quarterback than we are Joe Burrow in the same bro. We are talking about different quarterbacks.
He said players, but the man threw for 2,800 yards and he ran for 1,500 yards and accounted for 50 total touchdowns.
He still strapped him on his back. I give you that. He still strapped him on his back. I still agree with you.
I'm still waiting on somebody to tell me who else played with him. I'm still waiting on that.
Michael Dyer. That's all we got so far, Michael Dyer.
Exactly.
And Michael Dyer is most remembered for that that play against Oregon where he didn't go down and he ended up getting the big play so they could score on that drive.
Let me pull up who he had on the team. Hold on, I'm pulling up the roster now.
That's true. Fred Johnson said Burrow's first year in the SEC, he struggled. In that first year, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Burrow was an interception machine.
Man, Joe Burrow is a high. Damn, all that you and Fred talking about. Hey, Mark, Joe Burrow. Mark is saying that. I know this dude. So Ryan, Mark is saying it because Joe Burrow transferred from Ohio State. Mark ain't slick, man. That's all this is. Mark is from Ohio.
Did I say something
wrong? Fan. That's all that is. That's all Mark's saying.
Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm talking about Mark. Mark is saying it because he is Ohio State fan, and Joe Burrow transferred from Ohio State. Yeah. Man,
find the lie.
This dude,
find the lie.
This dude is a Heisman Trophy winner.
He was terrible his first year. Joe Burrow was terrible his first year at LSU.
Okay, then find me some more seasons that compare to Joe Burrow. We got Cam, we got Tebow. Find me some more better.
Right. Hey, did y'all hear what happened to the boy Terrell Zachary?
No.
Y'all ain't hear about Terrell Zachary? Exactly. That was the starting wide receiver at Auburn in 2010. That's my point. Exactly. That's my point.
Can I interest you in the Darvin Adams?
He was on the other side. Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. Case dismissed, y'all.
Ontario McCaleb.
Who? You say Mike Jones? Who?
So you're gonna put Cam Newton. So basically, we're gonna put Cam Newton 2 over Burrow and Berry.
No disrespect to them boys, but Cam is 2.
Okay, so if we're gonna put 2, he had 30 passing touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns that Heisman Trophy year. Pull up Tebow's Heisman Trophy year.
So let's stop right. Let's stop now. Tebow, we talking that he been the number one. That's a career thing. Burrow played 2 years. Cam played 1 in the well. Don't even count the year from Florida. He played 1 in the SEC and did more. Tebow did more over time. Let's stop that. Let's just stop that. Leave him be. Leave Tim Tebow be.
I think Tebow had a year like that too, a couple of years, honestly.
I'm sure he did. But I mean, you know, we know Percy Harvin was on one of them teams. We know the Hernandez was on one of them teams. He made people too. When Cam got to Auburn, outside of the doggone money speculation and all this, they got his dad banned from the Heisman thing. We knew Michael Dyer. We know he come the first one to come to mind because, like I said, that spectacular play he made in the national championship game. But Cam strapped him on, man. I'm just saying, I can't mess with Tebow. I'm not gonna mess with Tebow.
Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this real quick, and I just looked at it. Should Jadeveon Clowney be higher, or he right at his spot at 13?
He could possibly be a little higher.
Because Jadeveon Clowney is ratio corner made the he did it with Adrian Peterson, but Jadeveon Clowney is a guy that when we talk about recruiting, we call him a 6-star. I mean, that's a guy that walked on campus and started day one, his whole 3 years. So ratio, should Jadeveon Clowney at 13, should he be higher?
Let me see the list. I mean, you know, we could make the case for all of these guys, you know. Put the list up, Faye, please. Hey man, y'all get ticked, man. He got to do a sermon on Sunday. He around here talking about Cam had Rudy at receiver. Man, go work on your sermon, Reverend Tick, man. You out of line for that. Notre Dame fans gonna be hot with you.
Let me jump in right quick. Tim Tebow, his Heisman year, threw 32 touchdowns and ran for 23 touchdowns. His Heisman year.
And he got two. He got two championships.
He got two natties. One of them he shared. Do you consider that first one a sharing with Chris Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but again, he got a Heisman and he got two. Because they had a package for him. As far as Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, I would listen to anybody's argument that would put him up there. I probably would put him in front of Rolando McClain if Rolando McClain is up there. Or wait a minute, he would definitely go in front of David Pollard.
Oh my gosh!
Like, why would you have another? There's not another DN in the SEC in the last.
Ryan, I need you to have my back on this, Ryan.
David Pollard.
Ryan,
step
up, man.
Look now, okay. So David Pollard, if I'm not mistaken, he did more. He did more. And the time that he was at Georgia, he was an All-American. Mike, correct me. Was he
two-time All-American too now?
Okay. So the only thing that stopped him was, I mean, he sealed one game with an interception in the end zone. So I mean, now if you really want to be for real, it's 1A, 1B. When you stepped on that field against Jadeveon Clowney, you were actually scared for your life.
Facts.
He had viciousness. He had, I mean, that one hit against the guy in Michigan popping his helmet off is still fresh in my mind. David Pollack, consistency. He gonna give you
Fade, what you think, Fade? What you think, Fade?
He gonna give it to you.
You talking about David Pollack or Clowney?
Ratio said he should be in front of David Pollard.
Yeah, David Pollard a little too high for me.
This nigga's a two-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Two-time All-American.
I agree with you. I'm looking at David Pollard number. I mean his awards. He's a 3-time first-team All-SEC, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, but he was only a first-team All-American once. Jadeveon Clowney was a 2-time first-team All-American, 2-time All-SEC, and it's probably because he left his junior year. David Pollard played 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go. I was about until I realized that. I'm going to go Jadeveon Clowney because Jadeveon Clowney got everything he got, and he stayed one less shit, and he was the SEC Freshman of the Year.
Hey, Ratio, look up Rolando McClain.
Okay.
Then maybe we need to move Eric Berry out there top 5.
That'd be wise.
Yeah, like Eric Berry was a dog, man. Like Eric Berry in that top 5 is for people that know football. But if you ain't really no football person, like you might not understand the impact. And I'm not saying you, I'm talking about other people. You might not understand the impact of an Eric Berry. Rolando McClain was 2-time All-SEC, 1-time Defensive Player of the Year, and a unanimous All-American. Won the Butkus Award, won the Lambert Award. He did his thing. He had a total of 407 tackles, 9.5 sacks. Started as a true freshman. So he stepped on campus and did his thing. 75 tackles as a freshman, 95 as a sophomore, 105 as a junior, and off to the NFL I go. So I don't know, that unanimous All-American, that kind of stand out, don't you think?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Yeah, he could actually go top 5 based on that.
Yeah. Unanimous. That means everybody with a vote had Rolando McClain on their list. Everybody.
Damn, boy, that's a hell of a career, though.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Ratio, before we get out of here, man. I looked at this list again and I counted. And, bro, out of the 25 dudes on here, it's 9 dudes from Bama, man. Like, this is I just really counted that. This is crazy. And the thing that's crazy about it, it could have possibly been more dudes. Like Trent Richardson didn't make it. Mika Fitzpatrick, Landon Collins. These are dudes off the top of my head. I ain't even Dante Hightower, D'Amico Ryan. That's just off the top. This is crazy, man. The talent that these dudes had.
Well, that's what you call it's crazy, but then you think about who the head coach was. And you think about the presence of it being the stigma and of Alabama. That's what you call, man, you've talked about this in the past. That's what you call the Nick Saban effect. Nick Saban getting good position coaches, getting good coaches, and getting the best out of those athletes. It's not surprising to me. They rule.
And a bag.
I mean, that was saying without saying.
No, I didn't hear you say it.
Bro, 9 out of these 25 is from Bama. Like that's crazy, bro. That really is.
Yeah, 36%.
And I know we could say this argument for another segment, and I'm not trying to take away from what Nick Saban has accomplished, but the guys on that list that you have there, they were 5 stars coming out of high school on that list from Alabama. All of those guys, and I could be off 1 or 2. Nick's very few of those guys are 3 stars that he developed. They were the best on Friday nights, and then they became the best on Saturday, and a lot of them dudes are the best on Sunday. You didn't get Nick Saban don't have too many diamonds in the roughs. Now, you know, if we want to, if there's ever a knock on him, he took the best and helped them stay the best. And I know that takes work as well, but come on, look at that list, bro. The 9 players that you got from Alabama, I don't even think 2 or 3 of them are 4 stars at Walter.
Yeah, this crazy, man. This right here, ratio what me and you be talking about when we talking about recruiting. You got 9 dudes in this top 25, man. And this is the thing about this top 25. There's legitimately like the 9 dudes, there's no argument you're going to really get from people that know college football that they should not be in this list. It may be an argument that there should be more Bama players on the list. But nobody's going to argue about these 9 dudes, man. It's crazy.
So, and I'll close it out. So, when me and Atwater used to have these Georgia-Alabama talks, and, you know, he was always saying Georgia's on the cusp. And I used to sound like a hater because I would say, no, y'all not. He said, man, Ratio, we right here. No, you're not. Man, we got the same guys they got. No, you don't. Because I would always say, Georgia got the 5-star athlete. Alabama got the freak. You got 5-star, and then you got the freaks. Alabama had the freaks. Georgia now, recently, they're getting the freaks. Like Brock Bowers is a freak. He's a freak of nature, you know, at that position. Now they're getting the freaks. But before, Bama had the freaks. Ohio State, we better be careful because they getting some freaks.
So what happened to somebody asked a question, what happened to Michael Sams?
I wasn't gonna respond to that. You're not gonna get
putting his social stuff aside, Michael Sams had a dominant career at Missouri.
Stop it.
Like, we're not gonna talk about his sexuality, but as far as on the field, Michael Sams was dominant for real.
He's dominant.
See what I'm talking about? And see, it's other guys on here that could have possibly been on Von Miller, Texas A&M. We ain't really getting to no linemen. Ratio, you remember big Cam Robinson? Big offensive tackle? Yeah.
That's a 6-star. Cam Robinson started, he signed him on February 5th and started February 6th.
Yep.
Like, what's that boy that just came from that boy from down here in Fort Pierce? The lineman that did the damn split on the bag. What's his name? Just got drafted 2 years ago.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh man, the offensive lineman from Bama that was from Florida. He was a 6-star. I can't think of the kid's name right now. I cannot think of that kid's name.
We didn't even bring up Barrett Jones, Luke Jokel, Sean Andrew, Jake
Mike
Matthews. Mike Evans, Michael Orr.
Shut up, Fade. Shut up. Just hush, man. I'm talking about just absolutely hush sometimes. Michael Orr, you just want to talk about Blindside, man. Stop it, Fade.
I want to. He was dominant. Ole Miss, though. He was dominant.
Hey, one more thing before we go, and I'm looking at it. Devontae Smith is the highest rated receiver on here. Is that accurate?
Heisman National Championship, but you got Julio and Amari. Only thing that separates him is probably the Heisman.
That would be a yes and a no for me. If you're talking about stats, then yes. Only if you're talking about stats. But if you ask anybody that played that no football or that wanted to consider themselves a GM, he would not. Well, first of all, he wasn't even the first or second receiver taken in his own draft. He wasn't the first receiver taken on his own team in the year he was drafted. So what the college numbers say and what fans actually would think, you can't tell me that there was a better wide receiver in the last 25 years coming out of college than one Julio Jones outside of Randy Moss. I just you can't. No. Then now you could have put AJ Green up there. If we talking about just better football players without the numbers, then yeah, AJ Green should have been up there. But Amari Cooper, everybody from LSU,
Yeah. I didn't look up Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Jamar Chase,
Justin Jefferson.
And don't forget what that boy did over there at Clemson. DeAndre Hopkins and the one that go up to the top floor to catch the ball. The wide receiver that played for Cincinnati now. Killing it.
To T. Higgins.
Oh my God, T. Higgins. T. Higgins was that guy. They ran the same play inside the 10-yard line. T. Higgins run to the back of the end zone, and Trevor Lawrence threw it on the 5th floor, and he go get it. Same play. Everybody knew the play.
Shoot. It been fun. Hopefully Mike can have another list, probably top 25 NFL players going to next season.
No, I got one for you, Nick. I ain't even gonna say it yet. I got it written down on here what I'm gonna do, Nick. Yeah. Hey, Fort Valley Boy Podcast Awards. That's the next show that we're doing. I'm gonna hit that blunt, Rachel.
I'm good.
I like my job.
Hey, y'all boys be good, man.
When you hear the Nebraska cook, we out. Remember, programming note, we're gonna take some time off. We'll be back in the end of the month. Football season, break it up.
Be safe, be blessed, be kind, be good.
Stay blessed, stay free, stay prayed up.